Hi guys, and welcome back to Homes and Cooking, the business edition. So, I was going to post a video on new construction in San Diego, North County, but then I was reading one of the many sites that I read online just to keep up with the neighborhood and what's going on. And there was an interesting post regarding commissions, real estate agent commissions. So I started reading it and sort of lit my fire. So I'm just going to do episode 1 because there's enough information that I can share about this topic for at least 2 or 3 episodes. So I'm going to start with, ever since the absolute completion of the National Association of Realtors big lawsuit that has gone on for like 2 years and finally came to the conclusion, monetarily wise, I don't even remember, but it was crazy because this whole thing came about from an attorney somewhere in the Midwestern-ish area who is a personal injury attorney. So the gentleman literally chased ambulances. I'm kidding, a little bit. And he got together with some disgruntled sellers who decided their houses had sold too quickly. So why were they paying their agents any money? They didn't have to do anything. The houses just sold. This whole thing is a little bizarre to me because I know what it takes to sell a house. But anyway, it got to people thinking that, oh my gosh, commissions are too high. Now, this was from the Midwest, and obviously their price points are not going to be like San Diego coastal price points. But it did start this whole hullabaloo. So there's one post, and there was many responses, some which I will bring up. And with all, complete respect for anybody's opinion, but I mean, if I was a doctor and somebody would be asking questions that made little sense, I would answer them doctor-wise. If I was an attorney, okay, attorney-wise, don't go there. If I was any kind of engineer-wise. So I'm just gonna give a few answers to these questions, and I did reply in the blogs. Just honest, complete, open, how a good real estate agent deals with the stuff that they were asking or posting about. So first of all, commissions have always been negotiable. Everyone has known that. However, I've had my license since college, which is a long time. I was in advertising for many years, always kept my license, which combines 2 really, really good professions into one. And the commissions were always pretty much reflected on the standard of service, and they were whatever they were. In the last few years, they've been 5% commission. This is split between buyer and seller agent. And first of all, there's great agents, there's not so good agents. There's great dentists, not so good dentists. So everything can't be just lumped like they did in this National Association of Realtors, which one of the issues is we can no longer put a commission number in the MLS. However, I work for a large company, very credible company, and in our office meetings when this comes up, no sellers are having issues that we have dealt with paying the commissions as they have always been. 2.5, maybe some pay 2. That is the negotiation point. And we're not going to talk about listing agents today because that's a whole nother, here's what, and I'm talking about what I offer as an agent and what a lot of agents offer. But today we're just going to talk about the buyer's agent because this is one of the questions that came up on this blog and probably many other blogs. And all I can do is speak for myself and Sometimes I've been able to sell a house after 3 showings. Not the normal. I have had buyers that it's taken 6 months or more because they want, say, a townhome or a condo. They have a price point. They don't care about where it is. Obviously, nice areas that we go through and figure out before. But we have went all the way from Point Loma to Oceanside. And it took months and hours and hours. I did other things in between, but we finally found something that suit their needs and their price point. And you know what? It was my job. I enjoy them. I enjoy doing it. So you can't say, okay, we should just pay these people by the hour. They pay me by the hour, I'm going to wind up making more money than I do now. So it was just, you just can't say this is just going to be, somebody's going to put a sign in the yard and that house is going to sell. Now, we went through that a couple of years ago with the multiple offers, but mostly in detached homes. But that's not the way it is. Everything is sort of smoothed out. Interest rates are still 5.5% or so. So it is what it is. But it's very, very hard to say, okay, well, I'm not paying that buyer's agent a commission as the seller. That's your right. But we just don't hear that happening because you know what? That buyer's agent, if they're a good agent, have pre-qualified that buyer. They have proof that they can purchase. They have proof that they can close on time. And I have the number of their lender, and as a listing agent, I can verify all this. So as a buyer's agent, you have to get all those ducks in a row, quack, 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 in a row. And then it's a lot easier to buy when that house comes along. It could be in a day, it could be in a week, it could be in a month, or it could be in 6 months. If they can wait, they'll find the property that they're looking for. So writing offers is just the first step. By that time, you've spent all this time getting them pre-approved. I work with a couple of lenders, both are fabulous. So I know it's going to happen. If they say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So there's no issues with closing on time. So paying a commission to the buyer's agent, you know what? They're bringing you the golden egg. So many times these buyers, they're not all billionaires. These buyers have money to buy a home at a certain price point. And after that, they want to wrap that commission for their buyer into the purchase price, which in fact is wrapped into the loan. And so they don't have an extra funds in the bank or with their mother or, you know, the dog to buy or pay for their buyer's agent commission. Not that they don't want to, it's just a lot of times it's not doable. And we can actually write into the contract seller's agent to pay X number of percent of a commission. Easy peasy. So buyer's agents, I mean, I don't even want to go on and on, but this just begins when the offer is accepted. The party just begins. So I don't want to get into a 10-minute, 12-minute, 15-minute video. But then we start with the inspection process and the appraisal process and the zillions of form process. So just sorry that I got my fire was lit up, and this is the end of this first video. Next time we'll go into specifics of what the buyer agents does, because somebody had actually posted a timeline from AI, who I love. I use AI all the time, mostly to search, like if I have a head cold or some sort of medical question or a cooking question. I don't ask them for a timeline for a real estate transaction, because you know what? AI isn't a real person. It's in the sky, big sky. they get information from everywhere, probably every country. So when they go, okay, a timeline for a lender is they're going to spend 6 hours on your loan. No, not going to happen. But we will get that into segment number 2, and how I had a client that couldn't get into the portal. And they lived in another city, so I couldn't go there and hit their computer. So the lender spent hours, his assistant spent hours more helping this woman get into the lending portal. So this timeline by AI, I'll go through it link by link and tell you the hours, because it really is a Saturday Night Live skit. So thanks for listening, and I appreciate that you are watching. And it's Gloria Gillette from Coldwell Banker Del Mar, and I will answer any question you have about why we get X number of dollars for commission, because even my presentation for a listing it's interesting and it's very, very informative, but it's this long, and that's why I get paid. So thank you so much. And it's Gloria Gillette at Coldwell Banker Del Mar again, and it's San Diego Coastal Homes Properties. And just look me up. I'm everywhere. I'm easy to find. Same phone number. So we'll talk to you soon, and thanks for letting me rant. But it was a good rant. Okay, thank you.